Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Mix Match Toys Stab of Hades. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see some really great artwork of not Deathstroke with a Stab of Hades wording at the bottom. Turning the box around, we can see a really cool skull split-like helmet image of not Deathstroke. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at this new Stab of Hades figure. Now this is one I was actually pretty excited about as he just looks freaking rad. I love Deathstroke. I loved him in the Arkham games. I love pretty much every figure that we've received of Deathstroke. He's just such a cool character, he makes some of the best action figures. So all of the work looks really good. The head sculpt looks really nice. I do love the paint used here. You got a really nice paint job throughout the entire figure. Looks really good. You can see all like the scratching and the denting and things like that. The eye looks really nice too. I love the metallic blue chosen right here. All looking really good. And again, you can see more of the scratching and the silver paint in there. All looks pretty badass. All throughout the back and all throughout the armor itself just looks really good to me. The texturing looks really good. You can see more of that silver dry brushing and things like that all throughout the figure. Again, all throughout the armor bits, all looking really nice. The paint wash around the orange and the blues all look really good too. I love the suit here, how they gave it that scale mail look, really nice, looks really good. All throughout here, the belt buckle looks really good too. Yeah, the texturing just looks killer, man. I love that a lot. All throughout the bottom, I love the silver dry brushing again throughout the entire figure. Just makes it look so good. Nice tread on the feet with some peg holes right there. You can see his back. I love the color, shows him this really nice metallic blue. Look awesome, man. Now here's what I'm going to tell you. This figure is from the company Mixmax, and which is appropriate because this figure is initially just a mix mash of parts. That's exactly what it is. Now, I do not have the McFarlane Arkham Deathstroke, but I was looking up some pictures, and you can tell that this is pretty much a recast of a majority of the armor. I'm talking down to the scratches and the nicks. Even the head sculpt is from the McFarlane figure. The shoulder pads, the chest armor right here does look like it was a little reworked. Like this whole section right here looks new, so they might have just recasted it and reworked it. But the forearms and everything else down here, even the thigh stuff, so it looks like they probably just took apart a McFarlane figure, reworked it, and then recasted it, and then came out with this. This isn't bad, but that's exactly what it is. It's just a mixed match of parts, which again works, I think. But just so you guys know, it is not 100% like original sculpt and things like that. And then the material right here feels very cheap. I'm gonna be very honest with you. The pants feel good, that feels nice, but this material feels really cheap and flimsy. It's that third party, really thin, just, I don't like it. It's not good. And then up here is more like a rubbery type of material, which is not bad, but I do hope that doesn't tear or anything like that in the future. But still, I think he looks pretty badass for what we do get here. So now moving on to the accessories, first thing I'm going to show off, we do get the option to plug in a bandana type piece to the back of the head right here. It does fit a certain way. It almost has like a square type peg. Am I putting that wrong? I think I'm putting that wrong. I think I'm putting it upside down like that. So that's pretty cool. I do like that option. It's really, really long. And the thing that sucks is it just kind of just like sticks out to the back like that. It's not swooped to the side or nothing. It just sticks out back like a freaking long tail, you know, swooshing in the air, you know what I mean? So it's a little awkward, why they positioned it like that specifically. I wish it would came more to the side or something, but yeah, that's an option for you if you want to do that. And I like that option. I think it's really cool. We also do get interchangeable hands. You got open palm hands, you got more like gripping hands, you got more forward-facing gripping hands with the thumb up and things like that, close-fisted hands, all the things you're going to need. Now here's where we come up, I will say, with some problems here. So now I'm going to run down his weapons. We do get things like, if I could get him standing up there like so, we do get little grenades that look pretty good. They're just tiny little gray grenades, a little black handle. Those work out really nice. We do get this really nice bow staff, which I think looks killer. The paint on that looks nice, man. This can come apart, so you can slide it through one of his gripping hands, which is really cool, and that'll work out very, very well. So I do like that weapon a lot. We do get things like a sniper rifle. The paint, again, the wash, all that looks really good. It does have a little bipod on there for holding it up, so that works out really good too. Really, really nice. We get this rifle right here looking really good too. They're all done in this like gunmetal black with like a silver dry brushing, and then some slight detailing here and there. It looks really good too. And then we also do get this one as well. Again, same thing with those color with the silver dry brushing, all stuff like that. We also do get his sword, which looks really nice. Again, you can see how the holster is like that. We do have a little peg on the back like so, and then we do get his sword looking very nice as well. This thing does have a little peg on here. We do get a little peg hole on the back right there, and you can just peg that into place like that, and that's actually a really nice fit. Now, I was kind of thinking, it has a loop right here on that, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we can fit the sword in there. That's not going to go in there. That's going to tear that up. So this was clearly not made for this. You can maybe fit like the bow staff back there, and that will hold like that if you want to do something like that. Pull this off right there like that. So this loop right here it's honestly kind of pointless. Maybe you could fit the sniper rifle back there like that. If you want to carry that, that's not really going to work either. So I don't know. Yeah, again, this harness right here wasn't really specifically meant for any of these weapons, and now this thing's stuck here and I feel like I'm gonna break it, so just careful not to break it. There you go. Okay, so now here's something else that I want to talk about here. So these weapons are all pretty much recast of like Mezco weapons. So I'm gonna bring in the rifle that came with the Mezco Deathstroke. It is the exact same thing as the one we got with this Stab of Hades. This is just a recast. Now this one has the removable magazine. This one does not. That is part of the sculpt. So chances are they just took this whole thing together and just recasted it and gave us this one right here. But it is the exact same thing. Same thing when it comes to the sword here. Here's the one that came with Mezco. And then here is the one that came with the Stab of Hades. It is the exact same sculpt. Again, just recasted. So again, that's kind of playing into the whole thing with mix and match parts, because that's, again, pretty much what they did. I mean, this was a dead giveaway for me, and I'm almost positive, I haven't really looked into too much, but I'm pretty sure this is a Mezco rifle as well. I have no clue what this gun is going to. And a big problem that I'm having here, look at the handles on these two rifles here. They are completely different. Now, here's also the thing. This figure does not come with a single trigger finger hand. This one right here is probably like the closest thing that we get, but look how loose grip that is. Now you can get this gun in here like this, because it is kind of a wider fit, kinda like that. But it's not meant, and see, it doesn't actually hold the gun, so it's none of these hands are really meant for any of these weapons. Let me see here. I could try pull this one. No, not that one. You know, I'll just take this one in here. Like, look at this gripping hand. The nice thing is that these hands are pretty rubbery, so they're pretty loose gripping, so you can actually squeeze a gun in there. But he will never hold the trigger for any of them, because there's literally no trigger finger hands for any of these things. You have this one right here for the right side. You can squeeze this in there like that, and he'll hold it and it'll still look pretty decent. You get some good pictures, but you'll never get a true trigger finger gun holding hand. So that's a little disappointing. And then same thing with, like, here's the gripping hand. You put the sword in there, and that's a very loose fit. Like, that's not gonna stay properly, and it's not good at all. You do get this really tight gripping hand, and the only thing that I tried that fits is the bow staff, and that's because the bow staff can come apart and you can kind of like feed it through. Other than that, yeah, like it's weird because, and you can, again, you'll see pictures later on, you can do some really nice shots with him holding weapons, but none of them feel like he's supposed to hold them. None of them feel like they're supposed to be with this figure, because honestly, they're not meant to be. It's just a mixed match of parts that aren't necessarily cohesive with each other. So they all look good, but functionality, probably not the best. So now the last things that we do get are also interchangeable heads. So of course you got the standard head right here. This is gonna pop off, and here's another thing I will talk about, and this is fairly common with a lot of third-party figures. The head just popped off with the neck, because for the love of God, the neck will very rarely stay on the socket or on the ball peg that's in the actual figure. And you take this off, and the head, the peg right there, stays inside the figure like that, which again is also pretty annoying. So I've been having to like take some like pliers and pull it out like this, and then take that out separately. So then I have to like pop this back on into the neck peg like that, and then I'll take an interchangeable head and we'll pop this on like so. Oh, if I could do this, like that, and then put it back on into the ball peg right there, and then there you go. There is an alternate head right there. This looks really cool. I do love the orange looking really nice with the eye there. This is just a straight up skull. I think it looks really cool too. Now here's the thing, I don't know if this is an original head sculpt. I feel like I've seen some independent artists design this head, and this company probably just got their hands on it and recasted it themselves, because I don't, and I could be wrong, I don't think this is their own design and their own sculpt. So again, I'm pretty sure it's just a mixed match of parts, and it looks good. It works with the figure. I still very much like it. It does look pretty badass, but yeah, you could tell it's not really meant for this figure. And then I'm not even going to try and changing out the heads again right now, because it's a way to show you the problems with that. We also do get an unmasked head. I'm not sure if this is for another figure at all. This could be just the unmasked version for McFarlane. I don't know. But that looks good. I do really like the paint on that. The patch looks really nice. The hair looks really good as well. I do love how that turned out. So, yeah, man. Issues here, especially when it comes to the accessories for me. And this stuff right here, like I said, all these parts on little straps, and things will slide down, like the harnesses here will come down like that. Stuff like so is just very kind of loosey-goosey, and it's not terrible, but it will come slide down, so you just have to maneuver it around. You can also see here that it does come with a little knife that we can holster in a little sheath like that, and then we do get a little pistol on here as well, and I'm pretty sure this pistol is a Mezco one as well. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know. If it's from something else, let me know. But I feel like it's a Mezco one as well, and then he can hold that into his little sheath right there. So you do get a ton of stuff. You do get a good amount of stuff, which I think is really fun. But again, it just doesn't feel like it's specifically for this figure, so that kind of throws me off a bit. Okay, so now moving on to the articulation here. The head and the neck are on double ball pegs, so those roll around very nicely. Gankin left and right, up that far, that's actually pretty good, and down that much, that's pretty nice, and then pivot side to side, so that works out really good. Again, this stuff just constantly just slides down. Arms can go up that far, that's actually pretty nice, down that much, up and out to the side as well. Kind of feels like there's a bit of a butterfly joint in there, so there might be. We do get rotation at the bicep. We got double jointed elbows that work pretty good. Rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. That works out really nice too. We do get to see, it feels like a single ball peg. I could be wrong, and I'm trying. Yeah, well, maybe. it kind of feels like there's just a single ball peg in his waist here that goes down to his crotch and then up to his abdomen right there. So you kind of roll that around, does turn left and right a bit, crunches back and forth barely. The armor here is going to hinder that ab crunch quite a bit, pivot side to side tiny bit. Legs can only kick forward that far. The bulkiness of this armor is actually hitting up here at his hip, and you can kind of like move this to the side if you want to have him kick up a little bit more, but it's not much. But kicking out to the side is just like, here it is, boom. That's what you're gonna get, because this armor is either hitting his belt or his hip right there. You can rotate up there. We do get double jointed knees. That works out very nicely. I also love how the knee pad right here is a separate piece, so that looks really good too. Filling in that gap, man, looks really good. We can rotate at the boot up here, looking really good. Ankles feel like they're on ball pegs, so those can go up and down, rotate, and actually decent ankle rocker. So overall, I have a lot of feelings about this guy. I think he looks super cool, honestly. I really do like what they did here. He just looks badass and intimidating. But like I said, he is a mixed match of parts to make him kind of like Mezco-fied, we'll say that. And he does have a lot of issues, man, but I still think he's pretty decent. And honestly, I'm pretty happy that I picked him up. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the Mezco 112 Collective Deathstroke. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Mixed Match Toys Stab of Hades, aka not Deathstroke. Now keep in mind again, this is a third-party action figure, and not everything's going to be perfect. Yes, these figures can be expensive. That's just the price you pay for import toys. And for the most part, this is just a mixed match of parts from previous figures. Things like the McFarlane Toys Deathstroke, the Mezco 112 Collective Deathstroke, and things like that, and then they add their own little nuances here and there. The articulation works fairly well. It is hindered by things like the bulkiness of the armor. The weapons are fairly decent again, but they are just casted from the Mezco figures. I do wish that the hands had proper trigger finger hands, so he can never really hold his guns properly, but you can still get some pretty nice poses out of them, and I still think he looks really good. The figure itself does look amazing. I love the paint used here, the metallic blues, that really nice orange. I think the soft goods is pretty decent. It does feel a little cheap where the scale mail is, but nothing terrible. I still think he's a fun figure. There's a lot to enjoy about him, but the things that I have pointed out that I don't like are something that you may be concerned with. So if you want to drop about $100 for this figure, entirely up to you. I think you'll enjoy him, but honestly, he's not the best figure, but definitely nowhere close to being one of the worst third-party figures that I've ever checked out. He's still a cool toy, and definitely a must-get. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.